we have just four races left till the NASCAR playoffs start. Two of those suckers are wild cards. What do I mean by wild cards? I mean that some of these guys could wreck out and finish like last, and we could get a weird winner. And yeah, that's what I mean by that. And the first wild card we see is this upcoming weekend at the Daytona road course. We'll talk about that later on in the week. Maybe a little bit in this video we might touch on it. But right now I want to focus on the playoff standings, playoff grid, look at that. So let's just jump right into it. Don't want to mess around, just jump right into it. So who's in the playoffs? Confirmed, locked into the playoffs are the winners. We have 10 different winners this year. Kevin Harvick with 6 wins. He added, oh man, hold on. Give me a second to do some math. 13 playoff points this weekend to expand not only his regular season points lead, but his playoff point lead. Him and Hamlin have the most playoff points by a good chunk, and then it's Keselowski. But Hamlin with 5 wins on the season. He is second. Keselowski with 3 wins on the season. Logano with 2 wins on the season. Those are your only multi-time winners in the 2020 season. And then Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex Jr., Austin Dillon, and Cole Custer all have 1 win apiece, and they are locked into the playoffs. And they cannot miss the playoffs because we do not have enough races left to get 17 winners, so they're all in. Now, as for the points, this is where it gets interesting for some, not so interesting for others. Let's go to the not so interesting. I think there's no way these guys miss the playoffs. Like, it's mathematically possible, but they'd have to miss races. And everyone else would have to get top 5 finishes and win stages. So I'm going to say it's impossible that they miss the playoffs unless we get 4 different winners in this last span of races. If we get, like these guys get sick or something, I don't see them missing. But Eric Almirola, 158 points above the cutoff line. Kyle Busch, 140, and Kurt Busch, 137 above. They got to focus on getting playoff points right now. Obviously, that includes a win just to solidify that spot, but I seriously don't think they miss. Like, if they miss, I will be stunned. There's got to be a less than 1% chance that they miss, even with the 2 wild cards. That would bump 2 guys out, and they'd still have a 70-point gap on those guys. So I don't see any way on earth that those 3 guys miss the playoffs, and if they do, you can come back and roast me. There's the deal. Next up are the guys who are safe for now, but if the races go wrong at the wild card, they could be screwed. That would be Clint Bowyer and Matt DiBenedetto. Boyer's currently 60 points above. That is a little bit over a race of points. The most points you can get in a race without winning is 55 points. That is 35 for a second-place finish and sweeping the stage. So he's got a race, and so does DiBenedetto with 57-point gap. Yeah, they're safe right now, but obviously you want to expand that gap or get a win. I understand not everyone's going to win this year, so you can't say that for everyone. So for their case, if they're not going to win, I think they gotta go for stage points at this point. Like, the road courses provide weird strategies when it comes to pitting before the staging because you can't get lapped because road courses are so long they take a while to get around. So I think Bowyer and DiBenedetto, they're probably going to be starting up front in the top 10, top 15. I expect them to go for stage points this weekend. I expect them, if it comes down to it, I would expect them to be aggressive for a win, but they would not put themselves in a position that could potentially hurt the position, like wrecking themselves, just doing something stupid. I don't see them doing something like that. I think they just need a lot of stage points and a good solid finish, and that's something that Clint Bowyer did this last weekend, getting that stage win in the second Michigan race, and DiBenedetto getting a top 10 finish and also some stage points there. Next up is this could change. We'll call it that category. That's this guy, William Byron. William Byron's currently 26 points above the cutoff line. Well, that may sound good, but we've seen that gap erased before at Kansas last year in an elimination race. I think Elliott was like 25 points behind the cutoff line going into the race, and he ended up making it by 3 points. So Byron, let's say he wrecks out this weekend, and Eric Jones or Jimmy Johnson, who are both 26 points behind Byron, have a really, really good weekend, get top 5 finishes, get a lot of stage points, they could jump in. Either one of those guys could jump in if Byron has a bad weekend. So I think Byron's going to have to do what Boyer and DiBenedetto go. He's going to have to rack up a lot of stage points. He's going to have to get a good finish, and he can't do anything dumb. Obviously, if you want to lock in your spot, you got to win. You got to go for the win. I'm going to say that for all these guys. You get a win, you're in. That's the system. Up next is Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick, as I said, Jimmy and Jones are 26 back, so they're in the same category. That could flip-flop, but they're going to need a lot of points. Next up is Tyler Reddick, 36 back. If he keeps falling back, he's going to be in a must-win at Daytona at the Oval, and he doesn't want to be in that position. Once again, just going to have to gather some points, some stage points. He's actually been doing a decent job at that this year, but a couple bad races at Michigan, and he's now fallen from, I think it was about 15 points entering the weekend to 36 out. So he cannot afford a bad weekend here at the Daytona Road Course, or he will be looking at a must-win situation. As for Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace, Michael McDowell, everyone like that, you got to win. 122 points cannot be made up. I'm going to tell you that right now. Christopher Bell is not going to make up 122 points. I don't care how good he is. I don't care how many second-place finishes and stage wins he has. He's not going to make that gap up. He's got to win. Absolutely has to win. So with the 2 wild cards, I think that's him, Wallace, McDowell. This is their opportunity at Daytona in the Daytona Road Course. I think at the Daytona Road Course, this would lean towards McDowell, surprisingly. Michael McDowell is actually a really good road racer, and also he has a little bit of experience at the Daytona Road Course from what I've heard. It wasn't a NASCAR stock car, but it was a car. He's raced this track before. He knows the markers. He knows the track better than some of these other guys. So this is his best shot at a win. Obviously, Daytona, anyone could win the Oval. But yeah, as for the Daytona Oval, we've seen Bubba Wallace get a runner-up finish there. We've seen the 95 run up front with DiBenedetto last year. So I think that's their best opportunity to win. And if not, the 95's been picking up pace. If they can get a win at Dover, that would lock them in. But yeah, situation is you got all your locked-in guys. You got Almirola through Kurt Busch. Almirola, Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, they're basically locked in. Boyer, DiBenedetto, they're safe, but one bad race could put them on the bubble again, or the bubble, like the close bubble. And then Byron, Jones, Johnson, all in that kind of, you need a lot of stage points to rather extend your gap if you're Byron, or to close the gap if you're Jones and Johnson. And then Reddick's in the position where he cannot afford a bad race, or he'll be in the must-win. And then 20th on back are must-win. So, yeah, that's your playoff bubble update. As for this week, I'm bracing myself. After last week's news week, I'm really bracing myself for any news that comes out, whether it be Jones signing a contract, whether it be Bubba signing a contract. I'm expecting any weird, wacky news. And then we got the Daytona Road Course, and I think that's going to be, oh, man. We'll preview that. I say. I don't think it's probably going to be my worst preview ever. I'm going to sound like an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about, going to be completely honest, because we've never been to this track. I'll throw out some past numbers from different road courses, but it's not going to mean anything. So just prepare for that. It's going to be a weird one. I'm looking forward to it, though. It's going to be a historic race. I'm hyped for it. So, yeah, thanks for watching this. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe to the channel as well. That would help me out a ton. And make sure to share it with other NASCAR fans, viewers, people who like the NASCAR YouTubes.